We're in a time of great fluctuation. It's here, July 2020. What I've noticed is that there's a conversation of resilience that's bubbling up here. And for me, resilience is an important element of being a mentor and to pass that insight along to the mentee. And therefore, the mentoring tip I wanted to share with you is looking at resilience and then looking at maybe three important elements of being able to deal with resilience. So let me give you my definition of resilience. Resilience is when you find yourself in a crisis, something major is happening to you, and you are moving along, but what happens is that you start to drop down out of your normal way of doing what you do. And you find yourself going through a bit of the valley, if we use the valley and mountains kind of analogy. And when you're in that valley, to be resilient is to take that journey into the valley without going into dysfunction, so that when you come up on the other side of it, you go to a place that's higher than when you went in, and you've gained the insight that's necessary without going through the dysfunction. And that's how I look at resilience. And as you grow that inside of yourself, there are three things that are really important here. The first is to know and be clear about your path of hierarchy of values, to be clear about your learning approach, and to be clear about your educating approach. Let me just unpack each one of those just a little bit. With hierarchy of values, each one of us has a value set that expresses our uniqueness in this world. And it will come to the surface when you find yourself in times of fluctuation, times of crisis, because there is an opportunity here as well. And with the resilience, as I explained, and understanding what your hierarchy of values are, you are able to better understand where you are along the path as you move through this fluctuation, this crisis. Because when you understand what your values are, then it gives you, some people might say it, your true north. For me, it's a sense of my direction, my story, and I can hold on to it, not to the point of being so tight, right, but open enough to be able to receive other insights as I move through it. But my values give me that grounding, in a sense, that allows me to move. Your learning approach is about how you take in the influences. People are influencing you. You are learning through your interactions with others. And as you appreciate your learning approach, you have a better understanding of what is coming at you. Now, I'll give you an example here. When I went back to university the second time, I was fortunate enough to take an accelerated learning course, and in there, I learned all about mind mapping. And mind mapping is a visual technique to taking notes. I hadn't realized it, but I was a visual learner. And when I hit that workshop and I learned that, boom, I was gone. My learning approach just opened up dramatically from writing the notes and listening to stories. I found myself in this learning mode of drawings. And I kept drawing everything, and then I was able to layer it. And it made such a difference for when I was writing exams, about studying. So understanding my learning approach, and as I use it in my mentoring today, is I take notes that are visual notes. And to that, there's a hindering and helping story. I get that as well, is because sometimes I'm going to encounter those who visual drawings aren't their learning approach. I'm talking about the mentee now, and therefore I'll have to adjust accordingly. But that's okay. I can find ways in which to do that, and it's to the benefit of both of us. So the third part is to have a clear understanding of your educating approach. And when I caught on to this one as well, it was very, very useful. And I actually wrote a book about it, about Help Them Help You. And what it was about was 10 educating approaches that are available to you when you go to engage with someone. And so you can use one or more of these educating approaches and weave and in and out of them to be able to find the approach that works best with you, with the mentee with you. And when you get onto that sort of idea of educating, of which mentoring is one approach, then you may lean into others while you're in the mentoring arrangement. And that's okay because you've got more ways in which to influence the mentee. Now, I mentioned a bit earlier is that what I'm sharing with you about resilience and hierarchy of values, learning and educating is also something you can share with the mentees so that they understand what's happening for them as well. Because with great hope, wouldn't the mentee become a mentor? And if they understand this, then they can, in a sense, become a extraordinary mentor and share what it is that they know with their mentees. So there's value here in understanding our hierarchy values, our learning approach, and our educating approach. And especially in times of crisis and fluctuations, so that you can use those three understandings in this sense of building your resilience muscle. I have an ask of you: subscribe, comment, share, like this video, and ring the bell so that you can receive notification. Also, what follows is some information about one of the latest courses or books that are available to you.